This is Superstation, the American Forces Network, Europe. Gasthaus, with your host, Specialist Susan Hansen.
Would you believe that the largest celebration of America's independence outside the United States is in Denmark? Well, you better believe it. And to tell us why and encourage all of us to put in our leave forms for Denmark over the 4th of July is Ken Moore, who is from the Danish Tourist Board. Hi, Ken.
Hi.
Welcome to Gasthaus tonight.
Thank you.
Got a few questions for you. I've heard a little bit about Rebuild Park that has a little bit to do with the great appreciation that Danes and Americans have for each other. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Well, Rebuild Park itself is just situated about 27 kilometers south of Aalborg, which is in the northern part of Jutland, the peninsula of Denmark that runs up from Germany. Now, actually, it's a national park in a sense that the money for this piece of ground were actually collected in 1912. The ground purchased and the deeds given to His Majesty King Christian X for safekeeping. So this park was then developed as to the meeting place of the Danes when they came home. Really, to go back, we must think about the late 1800s. Denmark, naturally a very, very small country even today, just over 5 million of us. For people really to get on in the world, they had to go west, and indeed many of them did, to the United States of America. But of course, they were, so to speak, the first generations going over there. But they always felt that they should return back home naturally to see their parents in many cases. And through the process of years, I suppose they brought back with them some of the newfound American customs, traditions, and ways of life. And so it came at 1912, actually, it was decided to bring this dream of a Danish-American National Park into being. And as I said, the piece of ground was bought at Rebuild, which is a very, very nice piece of well, I might say one of our most hilliest parts of Denmark. Actually, our highest mountain is 150 meters, but nevertheless, we have a natural amphitheater where the actual 4th of July program itself takes place way in the hills. Heath covered. And of course, naturally, because that's the reason we cannot carry on the 4th of July throughout the day and finish off with the fireworks. We take the fireworks into the heart of Aalborg, which is the largest city and more or less the administration center for everything. So it started off 1912, which means that this year, in a sense, is the 77th year of our existence, in the manner of speaking. Not every year was it celebrated, for obvious reasons, the war years, First World War and Second World War. But now we're back really onto good keel, shall we say, and every year we've been very, very fortunate to have quite a good crowd of people, both coming home from the States, and we also have many Americans who also support, although it is a Danish-American, perhaps in the sense of Danes who emigrated to America, we still have lots of American people who do support this society.
Well, for Americans who want to visit and they're kind of concerned about accommodations, what they're going to get, for their dollar, what will be going on and how will they be able to stay there?
Well, first and foremost, we do have a very extensive program showing everything. We start off actually on the 2nd, which is a Sunday. The Danish-American has a garden party, and then we're having this year, which is new, picnic out in the hills. So let's hope the weather keeps fine for that day. Then on the 3rd, the highlight perhaps is the luncheon, of which one of the homecoming Danes, normally a homecoming Dane, who's honoured with becoming mayor of Aalborg for the day. He has the city keys, and of course he always makes the promise that he'll reduce the taxes, but sorry, it's only just for the one day. And then of course in the evening we shall have the usual concert by the United States Air Force Europe's band. They're almost honorary Danes by the number of times they've been up to entertain us. And then, of course, we're then on to the 4th itself, and out to the hills where we have a tent luncheon. Then we have entertainment, basically musical again, with the Danish military bands, local musicians, dancers, country western style. And then the highlight is, of course, speeches. And we have two main speakers. One is a Dane and one is American. And this year, the American one is I think, Commander Walter Scherer, the astronaut, or retired astronaut,
yeah,
I should say now. He's doing the honors for America this year. And we have one of our leading sportsmen, Valdemar Balansky. Despite the name, he is Danish, who's very much in the yachting world. As a matter of fact, next year he will be over competing in the American Cup races.
Oh, great. Well, we have an address. We're running a little bit short of time, unfortunately, for people that can write and get more information. How soon should people start planning as far as accommodations and other things like that?
Well, accommodation, we can always find accommodation of a kind for you somewhere or other. The only problem when one booked a bit late is, of course, if one wants to come along to the gala dinner, that's what we finish off with on the 4th of July, the gala dinner and the tent lunch. Admission to the actual program and the 4th of July in the hills, that's not too bad. But booking to take part in the other festivities, we would like you to think not less than, shall we say, mid-June to give us a chance.
Okay, so people at home, write down the address and make plans. Thanks very much, Ken, for being on Gasthaus tonight.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.